All right, so the way my mind works is I read something and it's like, that's kind of like RVers. And I put the two together. And so I'm going to bring that up here in the next couple of minutes. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're having a great week. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. If I can be of help to you, if you've got a bad situation with your RV dealer or your manufacturer, especially if your RV is still under warranty, don't sit back and just hope that things get better. Take action. I'm not a lawyer, but I am a consumer advocate, and I can probably help you. If nothing else, I can be a third party that can give you an unbiased opinion and maybe some thoughts for you to consider to move forward in the best possible way. All right, so I was reading this story the other day. I'm gonna talk about it, and it was especially about Gen Z and millennials and old people like you probably and me, the boomers out there. And I think that expectations have an awful lot to do with our happiness or not. When it comes to Gen Z, who do you think that they bank with more than anybody else? Who, all the big banks? Well, I'll tell you, according to this, who the big banker is. They're on the bank of mom and dad. That's right. And a lot of millennials are that way too. The bank of mom and dad. And I'm not criticizing. I promise I'm not criticizing. Everybody has been caught up in this thing of inflation and spending and all, COVID and here's your stimulus check and all the different hype. And when I was young, I wasn't making much money, but it didn't cost a whole lot of money to live. Today, it costs a lot of money just to live. So you can't really blame the Gen Zs. You can't blame the millennials. Oh, if they just grew a spine, if they just worked harder, they could make it. I'm not so sure if that's true anymore. So the bank of mom and dad, let's talk about that. Young people, it says, splurging on vacations and dining out is taking a toll on young adults, with a notable share turning to aging parents to bail them out. Why it matters. 6 in 10 Americans say they feel financially squeezed each month. 6 in 10. I believe it's at least 6 in 10. I squeeze pennies each month, and I don't really have to, I guess, but I try to be frugal. And I think that 6 out of 10, it's at least 6 out of 10 Americans. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. It says, rather, the combined effects of retail therapy and the fear of missing out is pushing some to blow their budgets with discretionary expenses. Retail therapy. What is that like? Retail therapy. We're supposed to believe, I guess, that it's okay. I deserve that. I need to go feel good. So let's go out and buy something, spend some money that we don't have. And we call that good? It's retail therapy. It's not good. And that's why people depend on the bank of mom and dad, or they depend on the bank of the credit card, and they rack up all that credit card debt. All right, it keeps going. It says, the huge question is if the patterns simply reflect younger generations' tendency to be less financially secure, or if there's a cultural shift that suggests, what's wrong, Wingman? Overspending now with hopes of saving later is becoming more common. A majority surveyed of millennials and Gen Zers agree it's better to treat themselves now rather than hold off for a future that feels like it could change at any moment. It's the fear of missing out. It's the, I'm only going to live once. I might as well spend the money. Might as well buy that car that I'm not going to be able to afford to pay for, or that RV, or go on that cruise or that expensive vacation. We might as well do it. We've got the credit. I mean, they forgive student loan debt, right? It's that rationalization. Our mind plays tricks on us. And we look at commercials on TV about cars or RVs on the internet. Oh, how nice would it be to have that RV? And they have no idea. Their expectations are unrealistic. It says, similarly, a majority agree they deserve more expensive purchases after surviving the last few years. We deserve it. I had a guy that worked for me years ago, and he had never really made very much money, and he made pretty good money working for me. And he was just climbing out of this financial hole that he had dug for himself. And he shows up in the driveway, this is 25 years ago, with a brand new Chevy truck. And he was so excited. And I said, but did you have a down payment? Nope, didn't have to. And his payments, because I ended up making them, $674.13 were his monthly payments on a very basic pickup truck, and the interest rate was insane, and he was happy for a while. And then he realized that those $674.13 payments each month, that was a lot. Then you got to maintain the vehicle. All right, so there's a story, it leads into this one, of, by the way, boomers. If you don't know, boomers are the people, if you're over 60 years old, you're still a baby boomer. You probably know this. If you're between 44 and 59, you're a Gen Xer. If you're between 28 and 43, you're a millennial or a Gen Y. Gen Z is you got to be between 12 and 27 years old. So those are young people. But there was a survey taken recently to ask people how much money they thought it took to be successful. You may have seen this. And old people like me, let me pull this thing up if I can find it. Yeah, I know I've got it. Stand by. Where did she go? There it is. All right. Here's what financial success looks like for Americans by the numbers. Old people like me, boomers, when surveyed, said that a salary of $100,000 a year seems to be, you'd be a success. And that's what boomers think. I mean, it's 99,874. I'm rounding numbers here. In terms of a net worth, what do you think a net worth would be, a decent net worth for a boomer, maybe like you or me? Not a big net worth, but something that would be considered you're a success. Well, according to the numbers, it's just a little bit over $1 million net worth. Well, Gen X, and those are the people that are between 44 and 59, they need to make a little bit more money to feel like they're financially successful. $212,321. They need a net worth of $5.3 million to feel like a success. But it gets worse. Millennials, it gets better right now. Millennials think that they only need to make $180,000 a year and have a $5.5 million net worth, and they'll be considered successful. Gen Z, get this, Gen Z, if you haven't seen it already, how much do you think that the typical Gen Z person feels they need to make to believe that they are a success? How much would you think? 100, 200, 300, 400? How much you think? How about $587,797 with a net worth of $9.5 million? What are your thoughts about that? Honestly, when I first saw this, I thought, I'm going to share my feelings. I went, these people are insane. They're out of their flippin' minds. But the more I thought about it, I'm going, you know what? Gen Z has never seen anything except good stuff. Better cell phones and faster speed internet and more social media and less work, forgiveness of student debt. And they've seen let's just go play and have fun. AI can figure out and do our homework for us. We don't even have to think anymore. Who can blame them for having this fantasy in their mind? And how does that relate to RVs? I believe a lot of RVers are caught up in the fantasy of RV ownership. And they have no idea of the real responsibility that it takes to be a happy camper. It's that four-letter word, work and cash and time. And most people just don't want to put that in. They just don't. They'll buy something and go, you know what, I'll make the payments on it later. And they will for a long, long time. And I, for one, am happy to see the banks and lending institutions are making it more difficult to borrow money. I know that you may not like that, but I like it. And I think it's a good thing because our country has been living on debt. Stores survive, the stock exchange, borrow, loan. What does the Bible say? The borrower is slave to the lender. And I think it's true. And I see that expectations, when the expectations are so high for something, kids are going to colleges now and getting $100,000, $200,000 and more in student loan debt. Their expectation is to get out of school and make $300,000 or $400,000 a year and pay off that student loan debt. Not everybody expects that, but too many of them do. And when reality sets in, it's going to be like the guy that used to work for me with a $674.13 truck payment that lasted forever. We have to start getting our expectations in line, but it's hard to do. There's metaphors. I see them everywhere. I'm trying to lose some weight, and it's hard because everything I look at looks good because I've pigged out on it forever, but it's not good for me, and I know it's not. I've been good recently, pushing back from the table. How long will it last? I don't know. My expectation, if I don't say I'm going to have pain losing weight, it's going to be hard. I'm going to be hungry. I'm going to feel things that I don't want to feel. I'm going to smell those things in the holidays that I don't want to pass up. But I know that if I do go there, I'm never going to get better. We have to get our expectations in line. And when businesses, RV dealers, or anything, you look at anything, when those businesses, they're in the business of getting you to spend money as much as you will. If you're in debt, hey, that's your problem, not theirs. Expectations. It's an important thing. And being realistic. And having responsibility. And I know that if I'm fat, it's because of me. It's just because of me. If I'm in debt, if I'm financially over my head, it's because of me and my bad decisions. And it's hard to face that critical fact. But I see this parallel with people that think that they have to make all this money, and they probably do with the way the economy is. It's a mess. It's a huge mess. The bottom line is expectations, and nobody wants to hear, basically nobody, until they're ready to hear it. The responsibility is yours. You're going to be fat as long as you keep eating that stuff. You're going to be unhealthy as long as you keep doing that, not exercising, not even walking. You're going to be financially broke when you're 65, when you need the money the most, if you keep blowing your money and going to the bank of mom and dad. This is my virtual campfire. I don't have all the answers, and I'm not here to harp on anybody. I am here, I think, to bring some topics up and be honest with you. I will never knowingly lie. I won't do it. I'll tell you what I see and what I think, and I hope that you will do the same. If you have a problem with your RV, I promise I will try to help. I will listen to you. I will read your email or get back to you, one way or the other, email, text, voicemail, something, and try to help you out of your situation. If you think you might have a big situation, you might have a lemon RV. Again, that email or the link to that webpage is in the description down below, or it's rvlemonlaw.com. A lawyer will look at your case. You fill out a bunch of, answer a bunch of things, and they will actually tell you if they think you have a case or not. But if you don't want to take the time to do that, you can contact me. Again, my phone number, it's on the screen, 855-296-7469. Email address, rvwingman@gmail.com. Let me hear from you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and share this on other channels with friends who may need some straight talk and somebody that they can count on if they have a problem with their RV. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. So long.